In Japan, more paper is used to print manga than is used to make toilet paper. When put into a certain perspective, we may realize that as time goes on and the industry grows, most of that manga will never reach our territories. And the manga that we do have translated for our native speaking audiences seems microscopic compared to the mountain of manga listed on internet databases. You may never know about your next favorite manga if it weren't for reviews, forums, social media, and of course, anime adaptations. However, even if that anime becomes somewhat popular or noticeable, or that reviewer holds a physical copy of that book in their hands, chances are publishers still won't license that title, leaving you to wonder how the story for the characters you've fallen in love with will end. It feels like a crime sometimes, really, looking at that one low-budget anime and wishing that something else, something better, would be adapted. Yet the fact that most manga will never see the light of day to non-Japanese speakers makes it that much more of a treasure trove. You just have to know where to look, maybe a bit of patience, and a grain or mountain of salt for fan subs. I've often gone onto my anime list, added manga to my plan to read list, and never read them. I want to change that. I want a reason to look at the manga I haven't yet deleted like I've done so many before. I want to find great manga and share them with fellow readers and fans like myself. I journeyed through my plan to read list along with Mal's database, found manga with good scores but low member counts, and began my journey to make this video for you. Welcome, dear readers, to what will hopefully be the first of many recommendation lists for great manga you may have not heard of. But first, some ground rules. Starting with this not being a ranked list, and I do not recommend for you to go out of your way to read something over the other. I only wish and hope that something I recommend will catch your eye, and maybe that I've pitched it to you well enough for you to give it a chance. Second, I am excluding manga that already has an anime adaptation, although some exceptions may apply. And finally, I'm only including manga that has less than 10,000 MAL members, including it onto their list. But again, some exceptions may apply. With that being said, let's get started with the first manga on this list. Henshin by Shindo L. No, I'm not kidding. Yes, I'm recommending a hentai manga. To avid hentai readers, this is a very popular and well-known entry into the genre. It occupies the list of 14,000 MAL members and sells on Onfaku like goddamn hotcakes every time I look to snag a copy. But I'm not recommending this manga to my fellow perverts that had to slip under their radar. I'm recommending it because it deserves more attention outside of the hentai community, if you can handle it, that is. No one ever said that porn can't have a plot, and Henshin isn't the only manga or doujin that I frequently revisit solely for its plot. Saki Yoshida just graduated middle school, and over her break decides to make an effort to change her appearance and be more sociable. And it works! On her first day, Saki stands out for her good looks and meets new people. However, things quickly take a turn for the worse after she meets a sleazy drug dealer who sweeps her off her feet and introduces her to sex and drugs. Thus begins Saki's downfall and metamorphosis. Henshin is a manga that will leave you fucked up. Due to it being a hentai manga, it gets away with being as graphic as it wants to be, and it's so short that even the tags alone will spoil the story. You should come into Henshin knowing what you're getting: a dark story about a girl who spirals more and more into darkness. A girl who you can't blame for her actions because she lacks the education and people to pull her away from a world which she doesn't belong. You feel horrible for Saki. However, from the moment she meets Hayato the drug dealer, you know it's too late for her. And I fucking love every moment of it. Henshin is the type of dark and fucked up shit that I enjoy because it's not dark due to excessive amounts of blood, gore, and sex. To me, those things aren't dark anymore. Darkness is watching an innocent girl lose everything as she fades more and more into despair. When I reread Henshin, I mostly do it for the final word at the end of the manga, the word that signals to me the end of my journey and time spent with the main character. It's a word that has a lot of power behind it because of all the desperate times and hardships I witnessed Saki go through. A word that's made all the more impactful because of the light of peace that beams behind it. And if you can handle it, you should read and support the official release of Henshin just to witness this journey and that one final word that still rings in my head, haunting and compelling me to come back for one more read. Noko Hanazawa is fat. No point beating around the bush. Over time, she's gone from being pleasantly plump to an overweight and gloomy office lady. Not only is she abused by her superiors and co-workers, one of which loves bullying her because of her weight, but her boyfriend is also using her for her body and exploiting her simple-mindedness while also cheating on her with said co-worker. Noko believes that she'll only be happy when she loses weight. She'll be far more pretty, beautiful even, and maybe she'll even make her boyfriend much happier and he will only have eyes for her. After meeting a strange old man, she finds a mysterious spa clinic and goes to get treatment. However, Noko is willing to take more drastic measures in order to lose weight. In Close Call Fat by Mayoko Ano was originally published in 1997 and is currently available to the West thanks to Vertical Ink. If the author's name sounds familiar, Mayoko Ano is the wife of famed anime director Hideki Anno. In Close Call Fat is a manga about eating disorders. No one in this manga is a good person except for the strict yet honest spa owner and Noko's otaku co-worker. Characters are both physically and verbally abusive and no one in this manga comes out better than when they started. Some of them are actually worse off. Like Saki in Henshin, Noko is a character who needs help but doesn't know how to get it as she goes through a harshly depicted cycle of suffering. The words eating disorder never came up once in this manga and at first that really ticked me off, but then I realized that Noko doesn't hear those words because she doesn't know she has the eating disorder. She keeps hearing the words eat, eat, eat in her head to numb the pain of her current situation. This manga definitely won't be for every reader, and I think it will be especially hard if Noko's character and traits hit extremely close to home with you in your current life. However, I find it both impressive and disheartening that a 22-year-old manga still holds up well to this day. Maybe it's a sign that times just haven't changed, and that's extremely depressing to me. But Mayoko has created a well-written and illustrated short story that will hopefully help you come out with a better understanding of a serious global issue. Copies are still available, and if you've seen one and have the time and money, maybe pick it up and give it a shot. Soaring through the skies above Japan's outer islands in her plain, fiery swordfish, Mikura Emilia is a young woman who enjoys her life. She loves her job as a pilot for her air delivery service, she loves her grandfather, who she helps runs his business with, and she loves her peaceful hometown away from Japan's mainland, and she loves her cat Endeavor. However, Mikura's life gets flipped upside down after the death of her grandfather. Not only does this leave her alone in both running the delivery business and in life, but she discovers her grandfather's journals and a mysterious package. The package is addressed to Electric Island, and the journals are filled with entries about the island that even goes into the future. Mikura is confused about this island as she's never heard of it before, not even from her beloved grandfather before his death. And when asking people who once claimed to have seen the island, they take it back, saying that they made up the stories to help her process her grief. But Mikura does know this. This package is hers to deliver. These journals are here to help her navigate the moving island that doesn't have a fixed location to where it ventures to, and her grandfather is there, alive, and waiting for her on that island. And she has these skills and equipment to do just that, no matter what anyone else says. Wandering Island by Kenji Tsuruta is the most unique and refreshing mystery series that I've encountered in a long time. Whereas so many of the mysteries I consume is about murder and solving a crime, Wandering Island is a surprisingly quiet and relaxing story about determination. Mikura is an investing character because of said determination and faith in her grandfather, the man who raised her. Her actions also has consequences, like not paying her bills or going to do her job due to how absorbed she's into finding answers. She isn't someone who's trying to cope with her loss or going insane from something that seems impossible, but she's someone who's trying to get the job done. fun. The beautiful artwork and penmanship is what gives this manga the relaxing tone that I believe it has. It absorbs you into the clear blue skies, dolphin-inhabited waters, and Mikura's cluttered home and office. You just have to admire the days, weeks, months of work that went into making Mikura's quest as realistic as possible, and the artwork that brings it to life. It's well worth the read for the art and Mikura's character. Wandering Island is currently available thanks to Dark Horse Comics. However, this manga has a bit of a troubling publishing schedule. Volume 2 was published this year, while Volume 1 dropped back in 2016. The series has been ongoing since 2010, and fans in both the East and West has endured quite the wait for new material. I don't know what's causing the publishing issues. Maybe the mangaka just has a slow workflow, and looking at the material, I can't blame him. Whatever it is, Wandering Island is a manga that I'm desperately craving for more of, and I still highly recommend it even if the release schedule is a turnoff. Pick up the first volume, see if you like it, because I can guarantee that chances are you will. High school student Azusa is a recent transfer student to her new school in the countryside and is already well known. She's dating the most popular boy in school, Kasuga, who's known for his good looks and cool aura. However, Kasuga and his followers are also horrible bullies, and their prime target is Takashi, the train otaku in their class. After Azusa is rescued by Takashi from a creepy old man, she gets to know him more and apologizes to him for Kasuga's behavior. They have a heart-to-heart, and Azusa reveals to him why she transferred, why that old man was creeping on her, why she admires Takashi so much, and why she's with Kasuga when she's actually a really nice, sweet girl. Because Azusa has never had feelings for Kasuga in her recent connection and friendship with Takashi, the two develop feelings for each other, and unfortunately, Kasuga sees this. Sekai no Hate is surprising, and it's best if you go into this manga as blind as possible. I was shocked at how invested I was into this manga. This is a manga about the snowball effect, the causes and actions and lies these characters tell that grows bigger and bigger with each passing day. I was always on the edge of my seat reading something that I've never seen before in a shoujo of all things. I desperately wanted to know what would happen next and was eager for the next update. My biggest complaint with the manga, however, is the writing. I don't blame the author because this manga was never published in the West, but the fan subs are not good. They're very clunky, poorly written, and illy translated. Even the names of the character in the manga are different from what's listed on my anime list. I've lost count of how many times I thought there's no way they actually said this. However, the only reason I'm not complaining more is because the art, character actions, and what little the fan subs are able to convey to me helps me understand the meaning of this manga. Because with the dire situation these characters are in, and the snowball effect getting bigger and bigger with every push, it truly does feel like the end of the world. My final and much lighter recommendation is Art by Kai Okubo. This historical fiction manga takes place during the Renaissance era in Florence, Italy. Art is a young noble girl who wants to be an artist and creates masterpieces like her recently deceased father. However, because her father's passing left her family with little money, Art's mother forces her into marriage and begins burning all of her artwork. This greatly upsets Art. Just because her mother thinks that a husband is a woman's happiness doesn't mean that she has to as well. Art gathers what little remains of her portfolio and sets out to forge her own future. After venturing from workshop to workshop, Art struggles to be taken in as an apprentice. The reason? She's a woman. It's at the last workshop that she's turned down from that she runs into Leo, a well-known and respected artist with his own small workshop, and has never taken an apprentice. It's after Art proves herself to Leo that she's serious about her passion and not just some noble girl that Leo agrees to take her in. Thus, Art casts aside her life as a noble and begins her journey of growing up and becoming a master artist. Art is a manga about respect. Respect for one's skill and craft despite who they are, where they come from, or what income they may have. Art treats every hard-working individual with the utmost respect and admiration because that's the person she wants to be. She admires Leo not only for his skill and guidance as her master, but also for how he sees and treats her as as anyone else and not just a woman. She admires bakers for feeding those who can't feed themselves without their help, along with the illiterate young woman with rough calluses on her hands. And in order to become the person she's determined to be, Art has to prove herself and show men and women alike that she is more than her gender and her background. It's a message that has more impact because it's set in a time where highly educated women were rare, whereas if it was set in the modern day, I would have scoffed and put this manga down long ago. This is a highly entertaining and downright beautiful manga. Every character and their motives are believable. The time period is fun for history buffs and art historians, and Art is a strong contender for best girl of whatever season I hope an anime adaptation will air. And the possibility of an anime is strong with this manga. It started its run in 2013 and is still ongoing. This is also the creator's first work, and god damn, they're making something good here. Art was published on what I think is a legal manga publishing site, but they only had the first 17 chapters. Afterwards, you're going to have to read fan subs. I think Art deserves more attention from both the anime industry and the Western manga world. This manga is a damn good read, and it's a shame if it keeps going unnoticed. I'm keeping my head up high and my eye on Art and hope to hear more news on it soon. Until then, check this one out if you have the chance, even if it's to stare and drool at the environment and backgrounds like I do. With that, those are my 5 recommendations. I hope you found something you enjoy and will join me for a hopeful second volume. Until then, links will be in the description. I hope you enjoyed this video, and happy reading.